Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. With the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are starting our lecture series. It's basically English grammar lecture series, and I'm starting with the basic things first so you can understand things easily from the beginning. So here we start with the lecture. So the topic for this lecture today is it's English grammar lecture, and it's lecture number 1. We start from the basic things, so you must focus on the things. First of all, when we talk about English or any other language, uh, every language has a letter and alphabet. So first we must understand what is letter and what is alphabet. So letter is in fact the individual letters like A, B, C in English. They combine the whole set of these letters are called alphabet. Actually, every language has its own letters and its own sounds. So there's a difference between letters and sounds. So when we talk about English language, uh, as we have consonants and vowels. So vowels and consonants, they're different. The way of production is different, and each and everything is different. So here, this slide will show you. First of all, we are talking about letters. So letter is like A till Z. It's a letter of English. When we go to make words, next is words. So words come after letters. The combination of letters become word. For example, C-A-T, there are 3 letters, and when we combine it and when the word, it becomes word, but the word must have a meaning, otherwise it won't be a word. Like if we say C, D, D, E, so it is combination of letters, but it doesn't give any complete sense. So that's why it's not a word. So word must have some meaning in it. So next, moving towards next, the combination of words that will become a phrase. When we combine few words, like we have word cat, it's a word, and the, it's article. So if you say the Kate, so the plus Kate, there's article, and Kate is another word. So both combinedly, it becomes a phrase. The Kate. The cat is a phrase combinedly. Similarly, when we talk another example, for example, in the class. So it's a combination of 3 letters, but it doesn't give any complete sense. So that will be that will call phrase. So basically we must understand what is phrase and what is sentence and what is clause. We will be describing all these things in a lecture. So briefly we will move next so we can understand in detail what is letter, words, phrase, clause, and sentences. So phrase, combination of words which does not give complete sense, that is phrase, and then comes clause, sentences. Next, when we move, so first of all we must know what is letter. Letter is a sign in writing or printing that represent a speech sound. In fact, letters are the signs. At the beginning, the communication tool was symbols, signs. Later on, it gradually it comes in the form of language, sentences in text, in letters. So any sign in writing or printing that represent a speech sound, for example, we have a sound cat, so it has a sound like sound ka, and then a, and then ta. So we have three sounds here. So for the sound ka, we use k, it's a letter. For sound a, we use a, and for ta, we use t. So these are representing the sounds. So these are called letters, in fact. Well, moving next, we come then to words. Word is a group of letters that are used together with a particular meaning. With a particular meaning, that should be the main thing about a word, with a particular meaning. For example, we combine some words here, like B is a letter, and then O is letter, K is letter. So we combine group of letters BOOK, it becomes book. So book, it has particular meaning. That is what we have some pages that we can read things, information from that. That is called the shape of that particular object is called book. So group of letters that are used together with a particular meaning. So that is called word. So moving next, like the next thing we must understand after word is phrase. Phrase, in fact, it's a group of words. That's basically the main thing that make up parts of a sentence. Not complete sentence, part of a sentence. So here, it's a part of a sentence. It is a group of words, but it's part of sentence, not complete sentence. For example, if we say in the ground, so here in the ground, it is a part of sentence, but it's not fully a sentence. It is a group of words. We have three words in the ground, three words, but it is not complete sentence. So it will not give complete sense. To give complete sense, we need other parts of the sentence. If you say the boy is in the ground, then it becomes complete sentence. So the part of sentence that is a group of words does not give complete sense, that will be phrase. After phrase, we go next further. So a phrase has different types. When we talk about the part of sentence, the group of letters, which group of words which are part of sentence, that can be a noun phrase. That is a group of words that all belong with a noun and tell us more about it. Look at these examples. For example, we have a word university. University is a noun, so it is a single word. Then we say a civilized university. Civilized university, it is now combination of words. A, for example, we have three words, a and civilized university. So three words. A civilized university is now a phrase. Then if we say a big civilized university, it's again phrase. It is combination of words, a, big, civilized university. If you make it more longer, make it longer than it, a big civilized university with 1,000 students. So here again, group of words, that is part of a sentence. It's not a complete sentence, but still it's phrase. So the main thing to understand here is what is repeating here. See, if you see every part of these phrases here, what is the common thing? That is university. University is here, university is here, and university is in the last sentence as well. So main thing is university, which is a noun. So noun phrase is a group of words that all belong with a noun. So whether it is university, that is noun, a civilized university, it is noun phrase, a big civilized university, it's again noun phrase, a big civilized university with 1,000 students, it's again noun phrase. So noun phrase always belong to a noun. Hope you understand it. Next, we move in the next slide, where we have another type of phrase that is called prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase is the group of preposition, is the preposition and the following noun or pronoun together. Look at these examples. So here, this in this phrase, prepositional phrase, in fact, it is a preposition and it will be followed by noun or pronoun. For example, here we have an example. Class is noun. In the class, so in fact, in that is preposition, it is followed by the class, which is noun, so it is called prepositional phrase. Similarly, table is noun. On the table, so on is preposition, it is followed by the table, that is noun. So a preposition that is followed by noun or pronoun is prepositional phrase. So this is called prepositional phrase. Here, in the class, on the table, both are the examples of prepositional phrase. The other types of phrase are verb phrase, adjective phrase, and adverb phrase. Verb phrase, for example, we say you will study. So it will be combination of the verb and helping verbs. That will be verb phrase, combination of words, and it gives meaning of an action or any state of being. So it must consist of a verb. Adjective phrase, it must consist of an adjective, like here, more difficult. So difficult is an adjective. More difficult is again, it is giving the sense of adjective, but it's combination of words. That's why that's called phrase. So it will be adjective phrase. Slowly, it's an adverb. Too slowly, it's again giving the sense of adverb, but it is called now adverb phrase because it's combination of two words which is giving adverb sense. Next, it is about clause, a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. So clause must have a subject and a verb. That will be clause. We must understand difference between clause and phrase, clause and sentence. If we talk about sentence, that will be, we will discuss it later. Sentence also has, it is a group of words and it contains subject and verb both. But the difference is clause, it doesn't stay alone sometimes and sometimes it is, but whenever we use clause, there must be two clauses. So we will read about the both kinds of clause. One is called an independent clause. That is a clause that can stand alone in a sentence. So it can also work as a sentence on its own. This kind of clause is also called main clause. Look at this example. I have to learn English. So here I have to learn English. It is an independent clause, or you can say it is a sentence. It does not need anything else to complete its sense. That is known as independent clause or main clause, or you can say it is a complete sentence. Okay, moving next. The next type is a dependent clause. Second type of clause is called dependent clause. Dependent clause is that cannot stand alone in a sentence. A dependent clause needs an independent clause to form a sentence. A dependent clause is also called subordinate clause. A dependent clause often begin with a conjunction such as after, before, because, as, when, while, if, since, and although. These conjunctions are called subordinating conjunctions. Uh, we will discuss later on in our next detailed lectures the conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, coordinating conjunctions. But here, just to understand that dependent clause, often they start with conjunctions, subordinating conjunctions, like because, due to, although, as, when. These are all subordinating clause. It starts with these conjunctions, and it needs a main clause or an independent clause to give complete sense. uh, it can be elaborated with some examples. Look at these examples. Because I will study abroad, so what? So it is a giving a reason, but a reason of what? That is not clear. So we need another clause to complete the sense. Because I will study abroad, I have to learn English. Now it is a complete sentence. It has two clauses. One is that main clause. Second is dependent clause. So here, if you see, because I will study abroad, that is a dependent clause. It depends on the next clause, which is I have to learn English. That is an independent clause. Both combinedly now a sentence, and it gives complete sense now. Before I graduate, so here before I graduate, here it's a phrase. uh, I want to have a job. So sorry, it's a clause. Before I graduate, I want to have a job. So this one is an it is a dependent clause. I want to have a job. It's an independent clause. So this is the main clause here, and this one is subordinating clause. So these are the examples of dependent clause. And an independent clause, it can stand alone. A dependent clause, it does not. So that's the difference between main clause and subordinating clause. Now here we reach sentence. What is sentence? A sentence is a group of words that make sense on their own. A sentence always begins with the capital letters, and it ends with a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point. So sentence, as we discussed before, it's a group of words. It has a sense, it makes a sense, and a sentence always begins with a capital letter. Yeah, the sentence should start with capital letters, as normally we do, and it ends with a period. It ends with a full stop, a question mark if it is a question, or an exclamation point if the sentence is an exclamatory sentence. We will discuss details the which sentences need question mark, which needs exclamation point. So here what we need to understand is sentence, that is group of words and gives complete sense. There are some kinds of sentences. A simple sentence is a sentence that contains one independent clause only. Look at this example. I have to learn English. It is an independent clause. It bears one idea in it, and it gives complete sense. It starts with capital. It ends with a period. So this is a complete sentence. Next, we have this is called simple sentence. Next, we have a compound sentence. Compound sentence consists of two or more independent clauses. The clauses in a compound sentence are often linked by conjunctions called coordinating conjunctions. Look at this example. I have to learn English and I have to get a scholarship to study abroad. So here we can understand we have a sentence which is combined with two clauses. First one, I have to learn English. It is an independent clause. Second clause, I have to get a scholarship to study abroad. It's again an independent clause. Two independent clauses are combined with a conjunction, that is and here. And is a conjunction. This kind of conjunction is called coordinating conjunction. So compound sentence consists of two or more independent clauses, and they are combined with coordinating conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions we will discuss in detail again, but here if you want to know, we have and, for, and nor, but, or, yet, and so. These are the coordinating conjunctions that normally we use to combine two independent clauses to make compound sentence. Next, we have a complex sentence. Complex sentence consists of one independent clause and one or more dependent clause. There should be one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. Look at this example. I have to learn English. It is an independent clause. Because I will study abroad, that is dependent clause. Because it's starting with because, that is subordinating conjunction, and it is a dependent clause. It depends on I have to learn English, otherwise it will not give complete sense. So here we have this one independent clause and this one is dependent clause. Combinedly, it makes a complex sentence. Last is we have a compound complex sentence. Compound complex sentence consists of two independent clauses and one or more dependent clause. So the difference between complex and compound, a complex, it must have one independent clause, one or more dependent clause. Compound complex must have two independent clauses and one or more dependent clause. I have to learn English and I have to get a scholarship to study abroad before I graduate. So here I have to learn English. It's an independent clause, one independent clause. This is an independent clause. And I have to get a scholarship to study abroad. It's the second independent clause. It is both followed by a dependent clause. One dependent clause is there and two independent clauses are there. So two independent clauses and one or more dependent clauses combinedly, it becomes compound complex sentences. So if we sum up the lesson, we started with letters. The group of letters become word. Group of words become a phrase and also a sentence and also a clause. So phrase, there are a few kinds of phrase we read, we studied, and we learned about some kinds of sentences and also kinds of clause. So that's it for the first lecture. Thank you very much.